It was late on a rainy Friday night when the power went out in our neighborhood. I was sitting on my bed, half buried under a blanket, listening to the soft hum of the rain against my window. My name's Emily, and I had just turned 22. I lived with my parents in a quiet town in Oregon, where the loudest sound you'd hear at night was usually the crickets or the occasional thunderstorm like tonight's. The storm was soothing, until the lights went out. My book fell from my lap, and the darkness swallowed the room in seconds. I fumbled for my phone to use its flashlight when I heard a soft knock at the door. It startled me more than I expected. "Emily," a voice called quietly. I recognized it instantly. It was my cousin Jason. Jason was only a year older than me. He had come to stay with us for a few weeks after a tough time back home. His parents were going through a separation, and my mom thought being with family might help him clear his head. "Jason, what's wrong?" I called out. The door creaked open, and the faint beam of his flashlight cut through the dark. His face was pale, his hair dripping wet from the rain. The window in the guest room blew open. "Rain's getting everywhere. I came to see if I could borrow a towel or something to dry off." I nodded, relieved that it wasn't something serious. "Come in, you're soaked." He hesitated, but I waved him inside. I handed him a towel and watched him brush the water from his jacket. Thunder rolled again, making the house tremble slightly. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just a little shaken. Reminds me of when I was a kid," he said, giving a small smile. "Storms used to freak me out." I smiled back. "You can stay here till it calms down. No big deal." He sat on the edge of the chair by my desk, his flashlight flickering against the wall. The shadows moved gently, and for a few minutes, neither of us spoke. The storm outside filled the silence. It had been years since Jason and I had spent real time together. When we were kids, we were inseparable, building forts, riding bikes, and getting in trouble for sneaking extra cookies. But life had changed us both. His father's anger had driven a wedge in their family, and Jason had grown distant from everyone, including me. As the minutes passed, Jason began to talk, slowly at first, then with the kind of honesty that only comes when the world outside feels still. He told me about his parents fighting, how he'd dropped out of college for a while, how he felt like he was drifting without direction. "I didn't know where to go," he admitted, staring at the floor. "So when Aunt Mary said I could stay here, I thought maybe it was a chance to reset." I could hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't easy for him to open up. Jason had always been the strong, quiet type. I leaned back, letting him talk. Sometimes, all people need is someone to listen. The storm outside began to fade. The wind softened, and the rain became a whisper. Jason sighed and smiled faintly. "You were always easy to talk to, Em." "Maybe because I actually listen," I teased gently. He laughed for the first time that night. "Yeah, maybe that's it." When the lights finally flickered back on, we both blinked against the sudden brightness. The house looked warmer somehow, safer. Jason stood up, holding the towel. "Thanks for letting me hang here. I'll clean up the mess in the guest room." "Don't worry about it tonight," I said. "We'll deal with it in the morning." He nodded, gave a small wave, and left. I sat there for a while, replaying our conversation in my mind. Something about it had shifted things. It wasn't dramatic or magical, it was real. A connection had been rebuilt that I didn't realize I missed. The next morning, sunlight poured into my room, bright and soft. Downstairs, I found Jason helping Mom make breakfast. He looked lighter, like he'd dropped a weight overnight. Over the next few days, Jason started spending more time with us. He helped Dad fix the old shed, took walks with me in the park, and even started applying for jobs online. One evening, he told me that talking that night had helped him realize he wasn't alone. "I kept thinking I had to figure everything out by myself," he said. "But you reminded me that family doesn't disappear when things get hard." His words stayed with me. We live in a world where people often drift apart when life gets tough. But sometimes, it takes something small, a storm, a quiet night, or even a knock on the door, to remind us what truly matters. A month later, Jason found a job nearby. My parents were proud, and so was I. On his last night at our place, we sat on the porch, watching another gentle rain begin to fall. "You think we'll still hang out when I move out?" I asked. He smiled. "You're not getting rid of me that easily." That was Jason, once lost, now found again through something as simple as family and understanding. It's funny how one moment can change everything. That night, when my cousin came into my room during a storm, I thought it was just about a towel and a flashlight. But it was so much more. It was about forgiveness, reconnection, and realizing that even in our darkest times, the people who care will always find their way to us. Even today, when storms roll through our town, I think back to that night. I don't remember the thunder or the blackout anymore. I remember the sound of family rediscovered, the quiet promise that no matter what storms come our way, we don't have to face them alone.